Y'all planning for this?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Reading Time with Jarvis. I am your host, Matthew Jarvis, and in these episodes, I am sharing some of the 300-plus books that I have read in my career. In fact, now that I think of it, really need to go back and update that account. I was at 300 a few years ago, and I still read 3 to 5 books a month, so I'd guess the number is quite a bit higher than 300. Either way, the goal of this episode is to give you a shortcut to the books that should be top on your reading list, or at a minimum, some of my key takeaways from this book or from the books. Today's book, Social Security, The Inside Story by Andy Landis, is a great guide to, you guessed it, Social Security. So I've had the opportunity to meet Andy on several occasions. He even presented a client event for us. Sadly, Andy has retired, and I'm not sure if he's going to be updating this book. So it is a couple of years dated, still very valuable. In this book, Andy, who once worked for Social Security and did a lot of training on that topic, really outlines the ins and outs of Social Security in a very easy to read, nearly client-friendly format. It goes through numerous scenarios, widows, second marriages, all sorts of different things that you would come up with that you don't necessarily want to commit to memory, but you need to have available. For example, something I often can't keep to memory yet are the different options for tax withholding on Social Security, right? They're very specific on which options are available. You can't just make up a number. Andy's book gives me a quick reference on that, as does the Social Security website, but this is a nice, handy book. Couple of key takeaways from Andy's book. Takeaway number 1, be sure to read the blurbs or testimonials in the beginning of his book because you will find yours truly. Kind of a fun side note there, a little ego stroke for me. But key takeaway number 1. Social Security applies to essentially every human being. Nearly everyone in the United States is subject to Social Security in one form or another. So being very well versed on that is a critical tool. Key takeaway number 2, as I mentioned in our last episode with life and death planning of retirement benefits, there are a handful of reference guides that you need to keep handy so that when technical issues come up, you can reference those. Now, important note, I would never pull these books out with a client. I would almost never pull them out in front of a center of influence. These are the books that I go to after I've told the client or prospect, Mr. or Mrs. Client, I could give you a quick back of the napkin number or back of the napkin answer on this, but I'm going to do a little bit more research. Is it okay if I get back to you tomorrow by 2 o'clock with the answer? And when they say, Matthew, of course it is, then I will go do my research, find my sources, etc., and then respond to them. Takeaway number 3, this is potentially a great gift for centers of influence, specifically your accountants, your attorneys that are dealing with retirees. They are often running into retirees with Social Security questions. And so for them to have that book handy, I can't promise that they would do anything with the knowledge in the book, which is great. What we want them to know is that you are thinking of these things and that when they have a question, they can contact you. So Social Security, The Inside Story by Andy Landis, strongly recommended. Alrighty, in the immortal words of Nacho Libre, go away, read some books.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife.